And yeah.
Hello, I'm Daria. Welcome to my channel where we talk about mobile apps. This year at What's New in Flutter session at Google I/O, an intro reel showed Flutter developers all around the world and explored the idea of Flutter being every day, everywhere, built by everyone for everyone. And this intro reel is extra special for us because all of us participated in that creation. And today we're here in Berlin at Google I/O Connect, recording a podcast, the first episode of our podcast. And we want to explore what Flutter every day, everywhere, built by everyone for everyone means in real life. Because we all work with Flutter, but in very different contexts. So let's start with introductions. Anna.
For the last 5 years, I work as a senior staff engineer in the fintech company called Tide, where we provide financial platform for owners of small and medium businesses. And we have over 2 million users in multiple countries. And we develop our applications with Flutter.
Ivana.
Hi, I'm Ivana. I am from Latvia and I am working with Flutter applications in the field of IoT and hardware sensors in the company that is called LMT IoT, where we help businesses to get cellular connectivity for their sensors for the different needs that they might require.
And I'm an indie developer. I'm also from Latvia, as Ivana, and I'm the co-founder of BB Apps, app studio that create apps for you and the planet, that care for you and the planet. And obviously, all of my apps are built with Flutter, and we build mostly in domains of language learning, personal productivity, mindful beauty, and wellness. So we're going to explore the concept of Flutter every day, everywhere, built by everyone for everyone, in more details. And to keep it fun, we will have a quick quiz. 5 questions, short answers, 3 different perspectives. Let's jump in. Okay, let's start with first question. Where does Flutter live in your world? Anna.
Well, as I mentioned at Tide, we develop mobile applications with Flutter. And 5 years ago, when we were just starting, we had native iOS and Android applications and constantly suffered from feature imparity, having to fix different bugs on different platforms and overall develop every feature twice. So it was a no-brainer to migrate to a cross-platform technology. Well, back then, Flutter already had stable support for both Android and iOS, unlike another popular cross-platform technology. And it was a more appealing choice to retrain our native developers compared to another popular cross-platform framework. So Flutter was a natural choice for us. And actually now we face a similar challenge with feature imparity between our mobile and web experiences. So we already start to retrain our web engineers to learn Flutter and start integrating parts of our implementation in the web shell apps. So Flutter helps Tide meet users where they are.
So I have a question. Which of the teams was most reluctant to learn Flutter and which one was most excited?
Like iOS developers are clearly very passionate about their technology, and clearly not all of the team members accepted this challenge of retraining themselves and left. But we have a good chunk of native developers retrained in Flutter and actually performing really great.
Oh, that's cool. What about you?
So for me, the team already had Flutter as the tool of choice. When I joined, they were looking for a team lead. And my company was actually voted the best employer in IT for several years now. So it was an easy choice for me to join the company, of course. But Flutter also lives in my community work. I write about Flutter. I give talks about Flutter at different conferences in different countries. And I am really passionate to help people learn about it and help them build mobile apps.
Okay, that's cool. Well, for me, Flutter makes sense because even before going indie, I was working with Flutter. I was building apps for clients in different domains, and Flutter just made sense because you get Android, iOS. Those are the platforms that are more important to me out of the box, and it's pixel perfect. And I've been developing with Flutter for the last 7 years and still haven't found a reason to migrate to other cross-platform solutions or to native. I haven't had actual use cases that would make sense to go completely native. So yeah, Flutter just makes sense. Okay, now let's talk about the less shiny side. What is your biggest challenge in your Flutter work?
I think this challenge is not only in Flutter, but in general nowadays with all the AI assistant coding. I think the challenge is to really be able to do a deep dives and your own research and understand at a deep level how things work, because it's just so easy to give the work out to a robot, right? And just for the robot to finish out all of your tasks. But before that, when we had a problem or a bug, we really needed to go to even like Google or Stack Overflow. Even if the answer is already there, you would still have to do your own research to compare different solutions that are given there and to select what makes sense. Now you don't really have to do that anymore. You can just press I confirm and like send a PR. And I think that's a risk. From one side, we are more productive, maybe more productive than ever, but from another side, it gives us this new risk of, becoming a little dumber.
Just a little.
Yep.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
What do you think? What is your biggest challenge, Em?
Well, for us at Tide, I think our biggest challenge is our scale. We have a team of over 100 mobile engineers contributing to a code base which is already over 6 million lines of code big. And when we were starting back then, there are not many resources about the architectures that could support such a scale and tools that would operate efficiently. So we had to develop a lot of those ourselves. And actually, I will use this chance to promote my talk at the upcoming FlutterCon USA conference and also Flutter and Friends conference called Legal Architecture for Enterprise-Scale Flutter Applications, where I will be sharing our approaches to building the architecture that is capable of supporting Flutter projects, let them grow without becoming unmanageable, and the foundational principles behind these solutions. And actually, even now, as a company which works in the highly regulated environment, we oftentimes have to integrate with third-party providers that either do not have a Flutter library, so we take their native libraries, wrap them into plugins, or the solution is still immature, and we have to go this route of making it production ready and mature enough together.
Yeah, it's very interesting because we have completely different types of challenges. As an indie developer, my biggest challenge is probably not even Flutter itself. It's picking what to do because there's just so many things. As an indie developer, you have to handle everything from ideation to production. And Flutter makes production easy, especially with AI. Right, just AI. And you have to make conscious decisions and priorities on what to work on. So yeah, that's one of the bigger challenges. And also, if we're talking about mobile apps, it's probably also not specific to Flutter, but just in general, my pet peeve is app stores, App Store, Play Store. Reviews there are notorious. They can take time, they can give you rejections, change policies, and then you're stuck with critical bug fixes or new features and unhappy users. So I am looking into the direction of over-the-air updates tools like Sherbird, but I haven't tried yet. Have you tried?
Not yet.
No, it's not for our scale, unfortunately.
Yeah. I guess this can be a topic for our next podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. What does Flutter Everywhere mean to you? Let's start with Anna.
Well, actually, I see Flutter being used everywhere. We have financial service with Tide, Nubank, Virgin Money. Flutter is used in healthcare, in entertainment systems, and even in Google products. So for me, Flutter Everywhere means being the technology we interact with every day while just going about our lives.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, for me, Flutter is synonymous with mobile apps at this point, and I think smartphones are basically an extended body part for a lot of people in this world. And I'm 99% sure that every phone that exists in this world has at least one Flutter app installed, and I'm pretty sure in that because there's a lot of use cases. So that's what Flutter is everywhere means for me. What about you?
Yeah, actually, if you enter cross-app development in Google Trends, you would notice that during the last 5 years, the topic was trending. The interest is growing for that. And this year, we see that Toyota is redesigning their infotainment system with Flutter. Anna already mentioned financial apps. Google Pay actually uses Flutter for over 100 million users. Yes. And there is also this app tracking app called Apptopia. And they checked that the share of new App Store free apps has grown from 10% to 30% now made with Flutter. I also did a keynote this year at FlutterConf Malaga about Flutter being a good choice for a career for new professionals and students, because now you see all the drama with AI, how it's taking our jobs, and newspapers with headlines like joblessness apocalypse, scary. So I did my research, and I think cross-platform app development is here to stay, and Flutter is really a good choice for that.
Of course, in 2026, speaking about software development, we can't not mention AI. I think we have already mentioned like billion times, as billion tokens in this podcast already. So let's discuss how we use AI in our day-to-day development. For example, I use AI everywhere. I'm zombie apocalypse. I will be king there. I use it in development as assistant coding, agentic coding, anti-gravity cursor, all of those tools. I use it for asset generation inside of my apps like Nana Banana, ChatGPT, things like that. And obviously also a lot of features in my apps are nowadays AI features, basically. For example, my app, Native Pal, for language learning, is just AI features at this point, because LLMs are quite good, like really good, at understanding context, personalization, and giving you the missing speaking practice that's just, I don't know, regular vocabulary or grammar drills don't give you that. So yeah, in use cases like this, I think, me thinks, you thinks, we thinks, thinks zombie mind enabled. Yeah, so
AI did this to you. I'm sure of that.
Back where you started, huh? Now you understand.
yeah. But you get the point. For language learning, it's great. Apparently, I need to do some language learning, and this jokes comes up every time I speak about language learning. So I need to eat my own dog food. And just saying, English is obviously not my first language. If you want to answer next.
I can go next. I would say, an AI enthusiast. I do have some.
Hello.
I do have some experience with machine learning and data engineering before I went to a full-time Flutter career. So I was always kind of fascinated by what neural networks and what AI can do. I'm also.
Frankenstein, and you're my creator.
Can she be stopped? I don't think so.
No,
So yeah.
no stuff.
I'm also kind of existential person by nature, so I am also fascinated by all the simulation theories, how we are in a simulation. The red pill, please. Oh, no, it's blue, sorry. I changed my mind. So yeah, naturally, when we had like AI assistant autocomplete in Android Studio by GitHub Copilot, and now we have AI assistant full-on coding, I was eager to try everything, and I'm still experimenting with where Flutter meets AI. I do talks on that topic as well. So yeah, I think AI is definitely here to stay. We don't know how the future will look for us as mobile developers, and will there even be Google Play and App Store in the future? That's questionable. We'll see how it goes. But we definitely work on a different level of abstraction now, which is, although it can make us into zombies, it's not less interesting than doing the actual like logical coding.
Hello, fellow zombie.
Zombies.
Yeah. So it's interesting at this point. Is it AI-assisted development or is it human-assisted development?
I mean, I think AI robot is. I think AI robot is kind of my younger or more junior employee, but sometimes I feel like it's the other way around, because it asks me to provide, like it asks me to give me screenshot, and I'm like, yes, just wait a minute, I will do a screenshot for you. So yeah, good question. Who's boss in
Maybe
this
let's
case?
move on to the person, the last
Can
person with the
actually
brains
talk.
in this room.
Yeah, because you didn't use AI that much.
Well, unfortunately, I don't do a lot of coding these days because I also play the role of engineering manager. But I like it how AI allows us to quickly analyze the code base to identify potential issues or opportunities for improvements, and it really speeds up our progress.
Okay, final question. Looking at where Flutter is going, what are you personally most excited about?
I think for me, that would be full stack Dart. We already have tools like ServerPod that allow us to build backends for even enterprise scale companies. And we also this year actually already have out of the box Dart support for Cloud Functions and for GenKit, which is my favorite framework for developing kind of complex AI apps or GenUI apps. So I think also with like one-man startups becoming more and more popular, Dart is yeah, one-woman startups. Dart is definitely on its way to become a really powerful language that allows you to deliver end-to-end products to your customers.
Agree. What do you think?
Well, Flutter has clearly already reached the production state as a framework itself, but I'm looking forward to the ecosystem to catch up. Like, we already have a great community around the framework, building a lot of open source tools that facilitate the development, but there is still a gap in paid mature products that help run enterprise scale projects. And I see the progress there already. Of course, it takes time. So I'm excited for this to accelerate because it means Flutter can gain even more enterprise scale projects.
Yeah, and I think that with this rapid development of AI, we're going into complete like end-to-end workflows. I don't know, Figma to Flutter, Flutter plus Firebase, where we will be less focused on like backend or frontend and more on the product itself.
Yep.
And I see Flutter being like exactly in the middle of a workflow like that, and I think it's a great opportunity for it.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, to wrap this up, let's do one final sentence each. Flutter is everywhere because
Because it runs on every device with a screen.
Flutter is everywhere
Because it has a real business value. You get to develop at least 2 apps for the price of one.
Flutter is everywhere because it gives different people with different backgrounds tools to create beautiful apps. And that's a wrap. I think this was a great demonstration that Flutter is every day, everywhere.
Made for everyone.
And by everyone.
Yay!